The Galactic Council chamber was calm, cold, and full of quiet pride. The greatest alien species of the galaxy sat together, watching star maps float in the air. They believed they understood everything about the universe. Every ancient race was known. Every old war was recorded. Humans, in their eyes, were nothing special, a young species, late to the stars. Still learning. Far from the council, a small science vessel moved through a forgotten star system. The system was dead. No planets with life, no light, no reason to be there. The ship was only sent to finish an old survey that no one cared about anymore. The crew was bored. Then the sensors changed. A deep scan showed something massive hidden inside an asteroid field. At first, the scientists thought it was natural rock. But the shape was wrong. Too sharp. Too perfect. The ship moved closer. What they saw made no sense. A broken structure floated in silence. It was not metal like modern alien ships. It looked old, dark, and burned by time. Huge pieces were missing, but the core still stood strong. This thing had been built, not formed by nature. The captain ordered a full scan. The results froze the crew. The structure was older than any known civilization. Older than the first alien empires. Older than recorded history itself. The computer struggled to give a number. Millions of years. Maybe more. This is impossible, one scientist whispered. They searched for symbols, hoping to find the mark of an ancient alien race. Something familiar. Something safe. They found symbols, but the symbols were wrong. Simple lines, simple shapes, clean and clear. The ship's AI compared them with known data. The match appeared on the screen, human origin. 99.97% match. The room went silent. Someone laughed nervously. That's a mistake, they said. Humans copy everything. The captain did not laugh. The AI continued its report. The structure's design matched human biology, the hand shapes, the height levels. Even the walking paths were made for human legs. This was not copied. This was built for humans. The crew sent the data to the Galactic Council. They expected anger, mockery, maybe a quick command to delete the file. Instead, the council demanded more proof. Back at the site, the ship entered the structure carefully. Inside, there was no life, only dust and silence. Long halls stretched into darkness. Walls were covered in damaged screens and symbols that time had tried to erase. One screen suddenly powered on. A single word appeared, WAIT. The power source was still active after millions of years. Fear spread through the crew. They found records, star maps that showed the galaxy before the alien races existed. Human names marked systems that aliens believed were their own birth. Worlds. History had been changed not by humans rising fast, but by humans leaving. Back in the council chamber, the leaders could no longer deny it. The scans were real. The age was real. The truth was terrifying. Humans were not a young race. They were ancient, older than the council, older than the galaxy's memory. One council member spoke in a shaking voice. If humans are the first, then where have they been? No one answered. Far beyond known space, something woke up. The Galactic Council was no longer calm. The great chamber, once full of pride, was now filled with fear and confusion. The discovery from the dead star system had shaken everything they believed to be true. Humans were not supposed to exist millions of years ago. Every official record said the same thing. Humans were new, weak, and late. But now, that story was breaking apart. The council ordered a full historical investigation. Every archive was opened. Every forgotten data vault was searched. Ancient, Records that had not been touched for centuries were brought back to life. At first, nothing seemed strange. Then patterns began to appear. Old wars with unknown enemies. Civilizations that vanished without reason. Ancient ruins marked as origin. Unknown. Again and again, the same problem appeared. Large parts of history were missing. A senior historian noticed something small but strange. In many ancient files, there were signs of edits. Not recent edits, very old ones. Someone had changed history long before the current alien empires were born. The council felt uneasy. The investigation went deeper. In one forgotten archive, an ancient map was found. It showed the galaxy as it was long ago. Many systems were marked with a simple symbol. The same symbol found in the ruined structure. Human. The aliens compared the map to modern star charts. Those systems were now alien homeworlds. Shock spread across the council. Had humans lived there first? Another record was found. A warning message from an unknown source. It spoke of an elder species that chose to leave power behind. A species that feared its own strength. The message did not name humans, but the language structure matched human communication patterns. The truth became harder to ignore. Long ago, humans had reached a level no other species had. They mastered energy, space, and time. They could shape stars and stop wars before they began. But instead of ruling forever, they made a choice. They stepped away. They erased their name from history. They hid their technology. They let younger species rise on their own, not because they were weak, because they were afraid of becoming gods. This idea terrified the council more than any weapon. Humans were not conquerors. They were watchers. The council members remembered how humans were treated in recent times. Humans were pushed out of trade zones. Their colonies were threatened. Their warnings were ignored. Now the reason became clear. Humans were testing the FES galaxy. The historians uncovered one final record, a damaged file locked behind ancient encryption. When it was opened, a simple sentence appeared: "When the galaxy forgets us, it will face itself." Silence filled the chamber. The council realized they had failed the test. They had chosen power over wisdom, war over peace, pride over patience, and humans had seen it all. Far from the council, deep in hidden space, ancient systems came online. Old machines awakened. Ships that had slept longer than most stars began to move. The galaxy had remembered humans. Too late, and the elders were no longer watching quietly. The first sign was not an attack. It was silence. Across the galaxy, long-range sensors stopped working for exactly 3 seconds. No explosions, no warnings. Just a sudden, heavy quiet that made every commander feel uneasy. Then the human ships appeared. They did not arrive through normal jump gates. Space itself folded, opened, and let them through. The ships were massive, but not shiny. Their hulls were dark, worn, and scarred by time. These were not new machines. They were survivors. Alien fleets locked weapons instantly. Nothing happened. No shields flared. No engines burned bright. The human ships simply waited. A single signal spread across all channels. It did not override systems. It asked permission. That alone shocked the galaxy. The message was calm, slow, and clear. This is a human observer fleet. We are awake. Panic spread through command centers. Some alien leaders shouted orders to fire. Others froze, remembering the ancient records. No weapon could lock on. Alien targeting systems failed again and again. It was as if the human ships were not fully there, half existing in another layer of space. A human figure appeared on shared screens. No armor, no crown, just a simple uniform. The face showed age, not weakness. The human spoke in a steady voice. "We did not come for war. Those words confused everyone. We left the galaxy to grow on its own, the human continued. We erased ourselves so younger species could learn without fear of us. Images appeared, old stars being formed, ancient worlds protected, early alien species guided away from extinction without ever knowing. We watched, the human said. We hoped you would choose better than we did long ago. The council listened in silence. The human's eyes hardened slightly. You did not. Some alien commanders demanded punishment. Others begged for peace. The human raised one hand and all voices cut off. We are not your rulers, the human said. And we are not your enemies. More human ships appeared behind the first line, thousands, then tens of thousands, each one older than any alien empire. We are the ones who stop the end, the human said. The human fleet moved closer to the galaxy's core. Stars bent gently around them, like space itself showed respect. No planet was harmed. No weapon fired. Yet, every species felt small. The human gave one final message before the signal ended. The age of ignoring consequences is over. As the screens went dark, alien leaders understood the truth. The elders had awakened, and the galaxy was no longer alone. The human fleet did not take control of the stars. That was the first surprise. Instead of claiming worlds or destroying fleets, the human ships spread out and stopped at key points across the galaxy, near war zones, near unstable stars, near planets on the edge of collapse. Everywhere they went, fighting stopped, not because humans ordered it, but because no one dared continue. A new signal reached every government, every council, every military base. It was not a command. It was an invitation. Observe, the message said. The humans opened their archives. The galaxy watched images from long ago. Not stories, not myths, real records. Entire civilizations burned by endless war. Species that destroyed their own stars chasing power. Empires that believed they were eternal. Many of those empires were human. Humans showed their greatest shame. Showed how they once ruled everything. How their technology grew faster than their wisdom. How they nearly erased all life in the galaxy by accident. We survived, a human narrator explained, but we learned too late. The humans did not hide their failure. Then they showed another path. They shared simple knowledge. Clean energy systems that did not poison worlds. Defense tools that stopped attacks without killing. Medical science that could save billions without control or ownership. They did not give weapons of conquest, only tools of balance. Every species was given the same choice. Use this knowledge to protect life or reject it and continue alone. Some governments refused. They saw human help as control. They tested the humans with secret attacks and hidden weapons. The response was quiet. Human ships moved between the attacker and their target. Weapons failed. Missiles turned to dust. Power cores shut down without explosions. No lives were taken. The message was clear. Humans would not rule. But they would not allow destruction either. The Galactic Council met. Again, this time there was no pride left. Only understanding. They realized this was the test, not of strength, but of maturity. Could the galaxy live without endless war? Could it protect itself without becoming a monster? As weeks passed, borders softened. Old enemies spoke for the first time. Worlds once ignored were healed. The galaxy was changing. But the humans remained distant, watching, waiting. One council member asked the question everyone feared. What happens if we fail? The answer came from a human observer. Then we will do what we should have done before. No one asked what that meant. They already knew. The galaxy did not fail. Slowly, carefully, the younger species changed. Old wars ended without victory or defeat. Fleets returned home. Borders stopped moving. For the first time in recorded history, silence in space meant peace, not fear. The humans did not celebrate. They simply observed from distant stations hidden between stars. Human watchers studied every decision. They did not interfere unless life itself was in danger. They allowed mistakes, small conflicts, and disagreements. Growth required struggle, but not destruction. The Galactic Council changed its purpose. It was no longer a place of power, but of responsibility. Representatives spoke with caution now, remembering the ancient records humans had shared. They finally understood something important. Humans were not gods. They were survivors. A council delegate asked a human observer one final question. Why hide for so long? Why let us forget you? The human answered calmly, because memory creates fear, and fear creates obedience. We did not want obedience. We wanted choice. That truth settled deeply across the galaxy. The humans had once ruled everything and nearly destroyed it. Walking away was not weakness. It was the hardest decision any species could make. As stability returned, the human fleets began to leave. One by one, ancient ships folded space and disappeared into the dark between galaxies. Before the last ship vanished, a final message was sent. We will not guide you forever. The future belongs to you now. The council watched the stars, feeling both safe and alone. Humanity had returned, not to rule, not to punish, but to remind the galaxy of its responsibility. And then, just like before, the elders were gone. But this time, the galaxy remembered.